Good morning, everyone, and welcome to our press conference. I have a pretty desperate announcement. 52-year-old Suzie Kind is presently in a Toronto hospital, and she desperately needs a liver transplant. Her condition is very critical, and I'm afraid if she doesn't get her liver soon, she's going to pass away. And we're going to do everything we can to bring attention and hopefully give this mother a fighting chance to survive. Want to introduce the guests beside me. To my right is Sarah Kind, the youngest daughter, and to her immediate right is Sherry Kind, the older daughter. And we also have the father that's sitting in the gallery. Before I start, I want to mention something about this issue, organ and tissue donations. I've been sitting here arranging press conferences over a dozen times in the past number of years, and I've been faced with this kind of situation time and time again. You know, where a family's finding themselves in a very desperate situation because they're afraid an organ might not become available to help their loved ones survive. And this has been an ongoing problem, not only in this province, but as well as Canada. I just want to sort of refresh everybody with some background because I know I'll be regretting this as I'm walking along Highway 2 if I don't. Back in 1999, I had an opportunity to make some recommendations to the government at that time, the Ontario government at that time, to Premier Harris. And I recommended to him the urgency of developing a program that will improve the rate of donations. And I put it in these words. I told them, we all need to have the audacity to believe that we can save everyone on the waiting list. That's the type of attitude that we needed. And that's what we have to believe that we can do. Following the government, we also made the same recommendations to the Chrétien government, as well as the Martin government, and other provincial governments across Canada in the past number of years. And we kept repeating the same thing, to have the audacity to believe that we can save everyone that's on the waiting list. It's been 7 years now, and I'm afraid to say that there hasn't been that much done. And, you know, once again, it has to always take something like this to bring it to everybody's attention. How important this is, how important this issue is, how important the steps that are needed to be taken to address this issue. It's not going to stop here where we're going to get families such as the Kind family right now that are facing this situation. We should all have the audacity to believe that we can save everyone, and there are steps that could be taken in order to do that. Before I get into those steps, I'm going to have Sarah Kind talk a little bit about her mom's background, and then it'll be followed by Sherry to talk a little bit about their situation.
Our mother received blood which was tainted with hepatitis C several years ago, and as a result, she's in this condition right now. What happened was the hepatitis C doesn't affect the liver right away. It's a progressive disease. And I think it was in about 12 years ago or so, what happened was she found out that she does have hepatitis C, and after several years, they put her on the waiting list. And in December of 1999, she received a liver transplant. However, no one knew that the hepatitis C will affect the new liver so quickly. And after a year, it was discovered that the hepatitis C has scarred the new liver. And now she was placed on the waiting list again to get a liver transplant. And we didn't realize that it's going to be so fast for the new liver to be affected. And now she's on the waiting, she's in the hospital. She's been in the hospital for over 2.5 months waiting for a liver transplant. And the things that have been going through, she has to go through, is unbelievable. The doctors are doing everything that they can, and the nurses are doing everything that they can, but
it's not only up to them. This has to be done by you. This has to be done by us. We have to get together and join forces and try to save everyone. We have to. This is important because there's a lot of people in this situation right now. There's a lot of people that are waiting to be saved. A lot of people waiting for an organ transplant. One person can save 8 people's lives, and we have to do something about it. We have to help. My mother has been suffering with infections in her stomach, with bleeding, with bubbles forming in her legs. It's unbelievable to the extent of what people go through when they wait for organ transplants, and we have to do something about it. We could save people's lives. This doesn't have to be this way. We can help everybody in that hospital, and they don't have to go through what my mother is going through, what all the other people are going through. We have to get together and help each other to save all these lives, because it's up to the government to make that decision, and it's up to all of us together to make this happen, that people will be saved. And 80 people don't have to die like they did last year, and 40 people that died so far. This has to be changed. And George has the way to help and make it happen.
Over 1,750 patients right now are waiting for organ or tissue donations. Why is it that there has to be so many people waiting for an organ, hoping that today will not be their last day?
How many people would have to die until something is changed? How many people have to lose their lives, lose their families, lose their children, their mothers, their fathers? Everybody. Why? Why does it have to take so long for someone to make a difference in this world? It has to be changed, and we have to do something about it now. Not in 10 years, not in 15 years. It has to be done now.
The longer she's at the hospital, more and more of her organs are failing. Right now she's on hemodialysis because her kidneys are not functioning properly. And they're not functioning properly because of the liver failure. The more she's at the hospital, the more her chances are that she's not going to make it. And we want her to be around for many years. We want her to see us getting married. We want her to see us having kids. And if we don't do something to change this, she's not going to be around.
And it's not just her in the hospital. That's our mother, but it could be someone else's mother. It could be your mother, or your mother, or your mother, or your brother, or your father, your sister. It could be anyone. And it has to do with all of us together, changing this and making it happen and making a difference for everybody's lives. This is what we have to do.
Thank you, Lise. The recommendations that we made over the years, and you know, we're a little happy to see that some things are done, but it's still not enough. For instance, the DCD cardiac death donations. The first one was performed in Ottawa a few months ago. We need more of that. You know, we need hospitals right across the country utilizing that procedure, and we need to look at possibly making some kind of national mandate so it doesn't it doesn't take one province to another province to communicate their progress so that they receive it 6 months later. We should have some kind of national mandate when we're incorporating these things so the whole country can benefit from procedures like that. We also need to look at the live donors. We cannot keep having people come and volunteer as being live donors to save somebody's lives when they can't afford the personal expenses that it takes to become a live donor, and some of them are up to $5,000–6,000. We made the recommendations to put aside a couple of $1 million for people that are taking the time and effort, wanting to help somebody, but these are working people. You know, they can't afford the travel, the accommodations, and they want to save people's lives.